Hey everybody, it's about 9 o'clock in the morning. It's the 22nd day of July 2022. It's 61 degrees and cloudy and cold here at Site B. I just did a review of the Dungeons & Dragons movie trailer, link down below, and I mistakenly referred to the actress as Michelle Gomez. I have just discovered it is not Michelle Gomez, it is Michelle Rodriguez. So my apologies for getting the name wrong. I did look it up and realized, oh no, that's not Michelle Gomez, that's Michelle Rodriguez. Still, ironic that they have Michelle Rodriguez playing the green-skinned half-orc. No? Anyways, it's Friday, so it's time to take a look at all the bips and bobs of tabletop role-playing game news we might have missed. So let's start with anything that's not related to Dungeons & Dragons. And is there anything else going on in the world of tabletop role-playing game that is not related to Dungeons & Dragons? Okay, here's one. Apparently, there is a board game based upon Darkest Dungeon, which is a computer game. The board game was kickstarted. Apparently, the initial kickstart was met, but now the creators of the Kickstarter of the board game are saying that people need to give them more money or they will not ship the finished product to the ones who supported the Kickstarter. So if you gave money to get the Darkest Dungeon board game to print and now you're expecting them to send you something, they're not saying we're basically holding it hostage. You need to give us more money so we can ship it because the cost of shipping has gone up or whatever, which I'm not sure you can do. You know, I'm pretty sure Kickstart's all or nothing. If I give you $50 and you say, if you give us $50, we're going to send you a physical copy of the product. If we meet the goal and the goal is met, I'm due a physical copy, which reminds me, I'm due a physical copy of Blade Runner and I haven't received it yet. So now they're saying, well, we know you gave us the $50. The product is ready, but we're not going to ship it to you unless you give us more money. We're holding it hostage, which I'm pretty sure they can't do. I'm still trying to find a link to that, but that's what I have read. Anyways, okay. As you know, the D&D movie trailer came out, and of course it's already getting a lot of positive reviews and a few negative reviews. As I said, I just did a review of the trailer and misnamed one of the actors. Apparently, already people are saying that the artwork on the poster is stolen from Pathfinder. So there's some question as to whether the art that is on the Honor Amongst Thieves poster is actually art the creators of the poster could have used, because there are some people accusing them of saying, no, this art was all from Pathfinder products. They even show one of the products they're comparing it to. So I guess there's an Intellect Devourer on the poster. Are they going to have an Intellect Devourer? They're just throwing everything they can think of that might be D&D in this movie. Oh, look, Intellect Devourer. All the D&D nerds will know what it was, but the normal people just be like, that's a cool, scary thing, because there's nothing nightmare fuel about Intellect Devourer. But then there's a picture of what the Intellect Devourer looks like from Pathfinder, and yeah, they do look the same, and apparently there's claims that a lot of the other art on the poster are right out of Pathfinder. Okay, well, I mean, you know, I guess, I don't know, there's only so many ways you can draw a mimic, but okay. What else? Oh yeah, the other one is in the trailer, the tiefling druid wild shapes into an owlbear, and people are now saying, oh no, druids can't wild shape into owlbears. I mean, yeah, owlbear's cool, and yeah, awesome owlbear, but oh no, druid can't shapeshift into an owlbear. And other people are like, who the fuck cares? How many normal people who are watching this movie are going to know that? Only, you know, hardcore D&D nerds will be like, oh yeah, but then, you know, whatever. As regards to Radiant Citadel, and I got a lot in trouble for my Radiant Citadel review yesterday, which of course I was expecting. It is now coming out that many of the creators of Radiant Citadel, the people of color Radiant Citadel writers, had never played Dungeons & Dragons. In fact, at least 2 of them have come forward and said, you know what, I didn't even know what Dungeons & Dragons was. I never played it. You know, I've done some video games, and so Wizards of the Coast came to me because I was of blank culture and said, write something about your culture and then we'll stat it out. There's also some complaints from people who are actually from the cultures that are supposedly represented in Radiant Citadel who are saying, look, if you're going to represent my culture, you need to actually give some credit to the myths and the sources. You can't just make this adventure with sort of aspects of my culture and not actually then also give, like, you know, a source for the myth that you are taking and turning into a D&D adventure, apparently. And also there's something about how the Drow are being treated now. We knew for a long while that they were going to retcon Drow mythology so that Drow weren't bad anymore. And because people didn't want Drow to be considered a allegory for people of color. Because apparently there are individuals out there who see Drow elves and look at people of color and go, oh my God, all people of color are actually chaotic, evil, spider-worshipping dwellers of the Underdark. And Drow is a racist allegory for people of color. Literally, no one ever has looked at a person of color and gone, well, except for maybe H.P. Lovecraft and some other wackos. But, you know, generally people don't look at people of color and go, oh my God, it's a brain-eating, chaotic, evil, spider-worshipping elf from the Underdark. So they retconned it. And now what they're saying is evil Drow elves are a virus. And in order to cure the virus and make them good, you have to trap them in an underground, whitewashed utopia until they are cured of the virus. Loth is a virus. So all the evil Drow elves are infected by a virus. And the only way to cure the virus is to trap them in a, you know, artificially designed environment where you can bombard them with goodness and cure them of the virus that is evil. Because there's nothing racist about that. That is literally the most bizarre... Well, there's some bizarre shit coming out of Radiant Citadel as more and more people actually start to take it apart. So maybe I'm not so surprised that in an attempt to say, you know what, Drow elves aren't evil, this is what happened, but we're trying to fix that because we don't want people to mistake Drow elves for an allegory for people of color and that Drow are a racist portrayal. So what we're saying now is that it's a virus. If you're a person of color and you're evil, it's a virus and we can fix... No, wait, that's not what we meant to say. Do you even realize... And Wizards of the Coast wrote this. I'm not making this up. Wizards of the Coast wrote this, that the way to fix evil Drow is to trap them in a utopian mind-controlled jail until they're cured of the evil. Because evil is a virus. Do you not see the irony? This could be Wizards of the Coast's biggest disaster. And look, we know that if it hasn't already happened, it's going to happen. People are going to look at Michelle Rodriguez as the green-skinned half-orc and immediately go racism. How dare you cast somebody whose last name is Rodriguez as a green-skinned half-orc? You're saying that, I mean, people are going to say that. You and I all know that somebody's going to say that. Also, because I gave a shout out to RPG Pundit, I am now a gatekeeper, and he is now a gatekeeper. How dare we think differently than somebody else? Also, this person who accused me of a gatekeeper said they would never want me at their table. which is, of course, gatekeeping. You know what? You're accusing us of being gatekeepers, but then you're saying, because your opinion doesn't agree with my opinion, you're a horrible, awful person, and I don't want you in this place, which is gatekeeping. So the people who are accusing us of being gatekeepers are actually gatekeeping by saying we can't be part of the discussion. And let's face it, Radiant Citadel is a no-win situation. If you don't buy Radiant Citadel, somebody's going to accuse you of being racist. If you do buy Radiant Citadel and don't play it the way it's supposed to be played, which makes no fucking sense if you read what's written, you're racist. So, you know, you can't win. And more people are coming forward and just looking at the way Radiant Citadel is written, and they're just going, yeah, no. Which is strange, is because most of these people who are coming forward and saying that is utterly ridiculous are 5e players. Okay? 5e players are coming forward and going, what the fuck, Wizards? What the actual fuck? So I'm sure the story of Radiant Citadel will continue to play out for the next 2 weeks until we're done being offended by it and we find something else to be offended by, because that's the way things tend to work with Wizards of the Coast. I'm sure more people will come forward about complaints about the trailer or how awesome the trailer is. It'll get the Game of Thrones treatment. Hopefully, you know, I guess they're betting on it being as big. I've also heard a rumor that there's a cameo of the characters from the 80s cartoon. For the last fucking time, they're not the characters from the 80s cartoon. Wizards of the Coast do not have the right to those characters. Those characters are controlled by the Disney half of that show. They can be an homage to those characters, because as long as they're not violating 3 points of copyright, it's okay. That's how, I mean, to use another thing, there are tons of stuff with Mickey Mouse on it that Disney did not create. And Disney could go after all of those people until next year, until 2024, when they lose the copyright to Mickey Mouse, which is interesting. But for the many years that they haven't, because A, it's not worth their time, and B, as long as there's enough difference that you cannot 100% accurately say this is Mickey Mouse as Disney portrays him, you're not violating the copyright. So Paramount can have characters in the background in the movie that vaguely resemble the characters from the game, enough for you to go, trigger, that's the character from the TV show. But if anybody accuses them of saying that they're the characters from the TV show, they can say, no, they're not. We don't have the rights to those characters. Disney has the rights to those characters. Those characters are an homage to the characters from the TV show. But there's enough difference between our portrayal of the character in this one scene and the actual portrayal of the character in the cartoon. There's at least 3 points of difference, so we're not violating the copyright. It's simple. That's how it works, okay? Anyways, that's all the bits and bobs of tabletop role-playing game news for the weekend. I would wish there was something else to talk about besides Wizards of the Coast. But there's not. Hopefully with San Diego Comic-Con in full swing, we will have some more Marvel DC news and some more gaming news and some more news about our, whatever genre TV show movie that's coming up that we're excited about. And of course, Stranger Things Season 5. And thank you, Stranger Things, for being a non-stop advertisement for Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. Till next time, I'm the OGGM. See ya.